How's it going, everyone? Can't see you here. Welcome back to episode of Collectables Hall. Bear with me. It's once again, it's been a month. Just it seems when I finally get back on track with this series, that something else just comes along and stomps me to the ground. So yeah, after the last episode, our aircon broke. So we're in the middle of summer, and the days were between 30 to 37 degrees, and we don't do heat in this family. We are very cold climate people, and it was a long 2 weeks before we could actually get it repaired. It's on now, which ironically is now starting to rain. I don't know if you can hear it. I just got out of the shower and it just started downpouring. I'm like, seriously? So it's been a weird few weeks, but I'm here to do another Collectables haul. I've got my last trip's worth of comics, and I've also got a few goodies in my trip today as well. So I just thought I'd put it all together because by the time our aircon was fixed, I just thought, yeah, I'll just wait for the to film this episode and I'll bring it in. And yeah, another thing as well, just to sort of have a chat with my recording. I started Resident Evil Remake, 2 sessions. Now it's been like 3 weeks since I jumped in because yeah, I don't do heat, and especially when I got my computer going and all that stuff, and I have a fan, but I thought I don't want to record and it's through the whole video. So yeah, we're good now. Hopefully no more no more bullshit. So let's get to the episode. I made an error. I left my last bunch of comics in there as well. I'm hoping, hang on, I definitely did. Yeah, I remember talking about Monkey Prince. Bit of poetry in motion. Let's kick off this episode after a hell of a fortnight with the heat. Issue 1 of Hell Sonja. Yeah, so I was expecting Hell Sonja's comic to come out very soon after the end of Sonjaversal, and yeah, what an irony, right here to, pick this one up because it looked good. Unfortunately, I actually can't remember what it was about. Devil's Reign, 1 of 6. I remember enjoying it, but I can't actually remember the plot. I think, if I remember, someone got some dirt on Kingpin and he was trying to do something else. Like Daredevil was very heavily involved, and then if I remember, there's not martial law, but it's like all these villains are trying to hunt down the heroes. I actually can't remember, and I did have a quick flick through, but I still couldn't, I have to reread it, but I did quite enjoy it. I put it on my wish list to get the next issue. And we have issue 4 of Red Sonja. I believe this is the last of my subscriptions because, yeah, after cancelling many months ago, there's still issues, like, because of the order process and just with things like delivery delays and stuff. So, yeah, I believe this is the last of my subs. And I'll just continue on with my tablet. Quite enjoyed this one as well. Fancy so much Star Wars. Star Wars Crimson Reign. Yeah, it was pretty good. A bunch of, I want to say Misfits pirates. They're trying to hunt down Darth Vader or Lord. Oh, I can't remember his title. Sidious, Palpatine. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Alrighty, another sub. I'm actually glad I got this cover because it's so gorgeous. Vampyverse, issue 4. Very sexy. She-Hulk has another comic. I was pretty excited to pick this one up. Issue 1 of She-Hulk. Really love She-Hulk. And yeah, it was quite a... It's not it's no, what was that, Devil's Reign, very, very intense and serious. It's a bit of a almost like a... So Devil's Reign is very, let's say, MA rated. There's violence and shit, whereas this one is very PGM. Very light-hearted in a way, and she was fighting someone, and if I remember, they come to an agreement by the end of it. It's like, oh, well, good fight next time anyway. This was really good. I really enjoyed this. Batman the Knight. So it's before he turns into Batman, he's dealing with his parents' death, and he's getting into fights and everything, and Pennyworth's very disappointed, and it was really good. Definitely something different. I was treating it almost like Gotham, that show that was around years ago and ended in 2018, I think. I really loved that show. It was basically Bruce Wayne growing up after his parents were killed and following Gordon and Bullock. Just, how do I put it? It was almost like that. Like, you're not expecting Batman, and it's pretty good. It's a nice change. Alright, that's that bunch. Now on to my today's trip. I didn't get a whole lot. I just got a book and a couple of goodies that I'm really excited to show. So the one I picked up today is the Battle Chasers Anthology. It jumped out, and there was nothing really like comic-wise popping out, so I thought I'd look at the trades, and yeah, I started reading it. It's my makeshift bookmark because I couldn't find one. And yeah, very good. I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't know what caught my eye on it. I think it was just the art style, and yeah, very good. Recommend it. Okay, when I walked into the shop, I was just hit with nostalgia when I'd seen these figures on the shelf. I was like, oh, mine. I have to get them. And I'll just do a little bit of story. So the big thing with me, especially with just loose, it's anime related, the figures that I got. I always forget what my first anime was, like what I watched, what introduced me to anime. And with this one, I didn't realise what it was. I just thought it was a cartoon. It was a really fun cartoon for me growing up. I really loved it. So I always said that, what was that called? Air Gear? I forget that one. It was like my first anime I watched. Like, I was telling people, and I think I may have mentioned in videos, and then I'm like, no, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! That's my first anime, like around 2002 and 2003. That was technically my first anime. Then I realised, no, Dragon Ball Z. That's actually, before that. Was watching it in 2000, 2001. Hell, no, 2000, yeah. So, yeah, Dragon Ball Z was technically my first anime. Then I forgot Pokemon. No, Pokemon was my first anime that I watched and got into. 99, moving on to the 2000s. Was huge on Pokemon. Then, as I walked into the store today, I'm like, no! The first anime I watched, and I was probably around 5 and 6, and absolutely loved it. Astro Boy! Oh, when I'd seen the figures, I'm like, oh my god, wow, they look really cool. I can't believe it's been so long since I watched the show. And yeah, it was definitely around 95 or 96. It was when we'd go to our grandparents' house and they'd take us out to the video store, pick up a few movies and stuff like that. And our granny, funny enough, picked this one up, and she said, oh boy, this one looks good, you want to grab this one? And she actually loved the show. She really enjoyed it. So whenever we would visit our grandparents, we'd go to the video store, Astro Boy. It was a really fun little anime, and at the time I just thought it was a cartoon. I didn't know what anime was. And yeah, the first episode I remember, it was when, I forgot her name, hang on. Uraine. I always say Lorraine, I don't know why, Uraine. It was when she appeared in the show, so the professor builds her and introduces her to Astro and his family, and I just remember the line, mother, father, goodbye, because she's not really programmed in, just yet. She's very sort of, doing things that aren't what a kid would do, and then the episode she ends up being taken away by these criminals, and Astro Boy's got to try and save her, and she ends up helping the other kids and breaking out. And then one episode I thought it was one that we always sort of watched when we would visit. We always got that VHS tape. It was underwater, and there was a giant stingray killing all the sea life, and yeah, that one was really cool, goosebumps. And I tell you what, I was talking today to the crew at the comic shop, that there was one episode that traumatized me, and it gave me nightmares, and I was just so terrified. I forget the episode. It was Astro Boy was always sneaking out for some reason, and then he would come back and his head would be damaged, so they'd have to replace his hair. So I forget what it was actually about, but then in one scene his head got blown off. Like, his head was completely blown off, and I thought, oh no, Astro Boy. Then he gets up and flies away, and I'm like, that traumatized me. I don't know what it was. It was like, I'm at night and I'm like, oh, headless Astro Boy's gonna get me while I sleep. It was just that episode I always wanted to skip. I never wanted to watch it, but yeah. And then there's some other episodes. If I remember, his rival Atlas wanted to challenge him to a fight, and he was, you know, Atlas was like, "No, I don't want to fight you. No, no, no." And then there was the what was it? It was something about fighting. Urain wanted to be in a fighting competition, and she was forbidden, so she found these dudes who are running the whole thing. Oh, we can make clones of you, so one of you can fight and one of you can be, you know, oh, good Urain, she's always going to school, and turns out they cut her power in half, so she's getting destroyed. And yeah, so what else was there? An episode that I can remember. Oh, the one when they were trapped on the moon or something, or on a planet, and there was this being living on her, and turns out an astronaut was stranded, and she landed on the planet, and he was taking care of her, and she passed away. So that was a pretty sad episode. That was a really, you know, very it made you feel. And there was what else was it? Sorry, I'm kind of telling story time. You don't realise how much, you know, this anime, like Astro Boy, had a big impact on my childhood, and to see these figures, it was just so, it all come rushing back to me. And now I'm saying, well, the biggest thing was that I was always forgetting what anime, because you always get asked the question, oh, what was the anime that got you into watching anime? And I always said all these other things, but technically no. This one got me into it. And there was another episode that I wanted to talk about. If I got it right, it was once again, it was in space, and this fairly older guy, him and his son were doing jobs or missions in space, and then you see the old guy, he was like skinning things and throwing the skins away into space, and turns out that this dude who thought he was an adult or a grown-up or a human, he was a robot, and he was like, no, and yeah, I think that's all I can think of at the moment. So I tell you what, let's get to opening. And I tell you, very good looking figures, like really awesome. I can't even remember the lyrics now. I just remember Astro Boy, flying high in the sky, or something small in here. But he is wise and brave. Or, I can't remember the lyrics, but it was such a catchy tune. And then the guitar solo at the end. No, not posable, unfortunately. That's alright, so there's Astro Boy. That's actually a really cool pose. Oh, he might debut in figure combat in the next tournament. I thought she was throwing the middle finger there. I wasn't sure. So you got, I never watched these ones. Unico and Kimber. But I don't think there's any other, because if there's any other Astro Boy characters, I wouldn't mind getting them. I hope Atlas gets one. He's a really cool character. Astro, your weapon. Oh no, I think I just remembered the first episode I remember watching. It was Galan. He was like this, they found this like ship and it fell apart, and Astro Boy rebuilt it, and he was like this giant robot, and then he ended up polluting the environment. I think that was the first episode we watched. It just said, there's Urain. She's up to no good. Watch yourself. Oh, what else can I remember about this show? I never watched the movie, the 3D movie that came out in like 2004. Yeah, I don't know, just didn't have the same charm to me. I wouldn't mind watching the original. It was like it was released in the 60s. It was like a black and white version of the anime, if I remember, or it may have been the manga and then they adapted it to the, you know, the screen. I'm not too sure. I need to search up on my lore. What else was there that I wanted to? There was something else. No, it's not coming to me. So yeah, yeah. I kind of made this episode lengthier because of Astro Boy, but yeah, very close to my heart. Tell you what, I might show this as well. I technically didn't get it at the comic shop, but I picked it up today as I was out shopping and went to Zing. I just saw it and I thought, oh, I wanted a Lego Infinity Gauntlet that I'm going to have so much fun building. Yeah, I actually have a, it's the Scout Stormtrooper's helmet on the stand, and I'm just a really big fan of these, you know, these Lego sets having stands, like really cool display stands, and I wish they'd do more. So yeah, I'd seen this in the shelf and I thought, oh, I want that, because originally I wanted the the replica gauntlet. It's like you can put on your hand, you can move it and stuff, but just don't have the room, unfortunately. So I thought, nah, I won't worry about that. But I thought that'd be cool. It's fairly small though, and I can display it perfectly. And I actually do have. Yeah, there it is. I was looking straight ahead, and it's actually at the top. I got the gauntlet in like a dome. It's really cool. So yeah, don't know what it is with this gauntlet, that it's just really cool to have it sort of displayed. And yeah, I hope they do Iron Man's one at some point with that. And yeah, so I just thought I'd show that because it's really cool. And that's the end of this episode of Claire's Own Haul. Yeah, I kind of dragged this on a bit. Yeah, once I start going, I just don't stop. And like I said, as soon as I walked into the comic shop and saw the Astro Boy figures, I was like, whoa! I haven't seen that in years. So yeah, thanks all for watching. I will see you later. Hopefully, not another month.